Okay, so today we are going to see a little bit the beginning of the Wu form. It's also called 123 or 108 or 110. It really depends by your lineage and teacher and way of teaching and tradition. This beginning of the form, it's not my interpretation, but it could be the interpretation of my teachers that taught me this. So whatever you are thinking about the movements or the principles that guide the movements, it's in base of your personal knowledge that you have today. Happened to me very often that video or a master that I know or some kind of exercise that I used to do have a different value today from 10 years ago and from 20 years ago. This, of course, you will think, okay, yes, it's normal because your knowledge is deeper or your knowledge change or you implement more knowledge from other things that make you see things in a different way today from what was yesterday. Yes, that's normal. But in Taijiquan and in particular in Chinese martial arts, this is really emphasized. It's really everywhere. It's all over. So there are some forms that I do understand now and I couldn't understand yesterday. So saying this as an introduction, let's see a little bit what we are going to talk about today with this video. So very important when we practice Wu style Taijiquan, and I would say in general Taijiquan, to have a good starting position. Why? Because a good starting position is actually your guard. It's your beginning. It's the way the opponent will find you. So if the opponent comes to me, what is the way that my body will be at the moment that I engage in a combat and engage in a dangerous situation, that I am attacked by multiple attackers? Which one is my actual position? It will be this, it will be this, it will be this. No, it will be this. My normal position. So that's also something that is very, very often misunderstood from Taijiquan and practitioners, people who have a very superficial knowledge. They couldn't access actual knowledge and so on and so on, okay? So I saw people say, okay, I practice Taijiquan, okay, let's go. No, of course, this one is an ugly kickboxing. If you want to do kickboxing, go to a kickboxing gym, they know what they're doing, okay? So we'll never start our defense mechanism, our mechanism of attack and defense, call it as you want, our action from this position. Because when I'm in this position, when I have already raised my hands, it means that I'm already in combat, okay? Why? Because if I'm in this position, which is a guard on, I can have gloves or not, it's the same, is in the ring, is during a competition, is during a sport fighting where the person in front of me, he is already in this position. There are no sport fightings that start from this position and then you go. No, they all start in this position, okay? You raise your hand, you say yes to the referee, and you start. That's changed a lot in terms of self-defense because that's already starting. Is already starting something. He is already very close to you, can almost touch you just at the starting point, okay? All of these factors have very little meaning if you are a sport athlete, but a huge, huge importance if you study self-defense, street self-defense, okay? Because the space that I have between me, my arm, my leg, what I can reach with these two circles of distances, it makes all the difference. Everything will be resolved in few seconds, not in 15 long rounds. I don't have that time, okay? So I need to resolve the action as it comes to me. If the action is already into me, I probably lost my chance to defend myself. So everything that happened before the guy starting to raise his punch and have my head as a trajectory, everything that happened before that moment, that's my interest. If I can solve that problem, that is where I have a fighting chance. If not, I probably gonna lose. So, good starting point. Here means that I'm completely covered. It sounds funny to say because I'm actually exposed 100%. I'm not covering anything. But here I need to be, in a Taijiquan way, covered. Means that whatever happened, I'm covered. I'm tense. My tension is an internal tension that it comes from my breathing techniques. So the opponent will have the impression that I'm relaxed and I'm loose. Instead, I am ready. Ready in a particular way. Ready means here that I'm ready because I'm already ongoing. Whatever I do, it will be lead my breathing. I raise my arm. This is already fighting. I'm already into the fighting because from this position, I have this position. With one hand, I'm this position. This could be a punch, could be a push, palm strike, could be the beginning of a grab, could be other kind of actions. But I have already reached my target from here. So this side and this side, they need to be fully charged. The Chinese say it must be like you are using a bow. So here you have a bow that is tense in this way. Here you have a bow that is tense in this way. I'm a little bit exaggerating the movement just for the video. One. If you are just loose and you do this, no. I'm sorry if you're doing this, if someone is teaching you this will never be anything. You can practice as long as you want. If you don't put this kind of principles inside the movements, your movements is just an empty dance that doesn't mean anything unless you want it to give it a meaning. That's not of my interest. One, here. The feet are parallel. You are not too wide. You are not too small. Pretty much it's like you are inside a column, square column in this way. Shoulders, hips sink, up, pushing down. Then you start the movement. You don't need to start the movement doing this. You don't need to start the movement doing this, okay? The movement starts inside. The opponent won't understand what's going on. If I do this, of course, he will see my body first, the hands later. So he will punch me because I'm moving, okay? I don't want him to see me. One. Then I collapse, shoulder, elbow, wrist. Now, there are somebody who do this, somebody who do this, some other people who do this. Is the same thing, doesn't matter. That's the flavor that you want to give it, but the principle is the same, which is important. One, I go up, now I can go here, here, okay? One. Then I collapse here. I don't raise, I don't bring my energy up here in the neck, but as soon as this one go up, something goes down. When this one goes down, something goes up. That something is your chi moved by your breathing, that you need to be ready to use it when you move. So already this one, which is usually something that some people call a salute of Tai Chi or some kind of meaningless opening of Tai Chi. No, that's not an opening. That's actually the most important action you do. Because once you learn first how to be in Wu Ji position, then you learn how to raise your hand with your Qi. When you learn how to bring your energy down with your Qi, that's a lot to do already. So the first movement, don't underestimate it, because it's really, really important. 1, 2. Then here, I open a little bit my stance on the right side. 1. The left, it's still in the same position. I don't do this, I don't do this, I don't do this, especially I don't do this. This, it doesn't follow the principle. I do this. In Wu Taijiquan, the weight is always in the middle. It never moves. So the famous problem of the double weight means that you don't have to do this, which is the 99.99% of young Tai Chi practitioners that do this. 1, 2, no. You will never fight with this. There are no fighting arts that teach you something even remotely like this, like putting your entire weight on one leg. It doesn't exist for a reason, because if you will be like a robot moving very slowly, you can fight with that. Plus, in the moment that you put all of your weight on one leg, if the enemy charge you, move you, grab you, push you, punch you, you will just fall or move away. You will be destabilized your center completely, okay? So in Wu Taijiquan, 1, open. In the moment that I open, I charge this, okay? So in a way, what I'm doing, 1, 2, right? Then he's attacking. 1. My center stays in the middle. 1. I charge myself, I take space inside in order to counterattack. 1. Since he's coming to me, he's already here. I need to cover myself, and that's also an important element of Taijiquan that pretty much nobody do, because the yang style from the Chinese government from the last 70 years actually have completely eliminated all of these details. Why? Because they don't look very regal, they don't look very pleasant, and you can see the fighting intent inside. The fighting intent for Chinese people in ancient times like today is not a symptom of something regal and noble, actually something for, uneducated people. So people who show too much aggressivity and things like that are usually not well seen, are not people from the high society, are more people from, criminals, or people went to jail, stuff like that. So that's really important to know. So they wanted to clean up Taijiquan, but the problem is that when they did that, they completely eliminated all the martial art out of it. So 1, 2. Here I cover my central line, okay? Boom. I don't do this. Why? Because I will need to go forward. If I do this, I will go here. But I need to go there, because he is there. 1, here. With this, I just do, with the left, I just do this. Very, very easy. From here, where I am, whoop, I don't have to do anything. Taijiquan as a practical martial art is extremely intelligent. It doesn't make you do strange things, okay? Think about boxing. Boom, 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 boom. These are all, we used to see it, so for us it's normal. But for, I don't know, a person that from another planet who never see it, actually boxing looks pretty unfamiliar and pretty strange to see. Okay, I say Western boxing, of course. Here I don't have to do anything. I don't move my arm almost at all here, and I cover my central line. With the right, I raise it up because my head is exposed. 1. He won't be able to reach me here since he's here. It doesn't have a hook long enough to reach me here, okay? 1, here. If I'm like this, yes, he will reach me here. So don't make the mistake, just turn and close. In this way, moving correctly your hips. Boom. Now, I need to go forward. Here probably I have his arm or part of his body, okay? So, boom, good. Here, I advance. I raise my left. The moment that I arrive, I push. So this one, it will go on his ribs, okay? Taijiquan have a very particular way of striking. We don't strike from here to here, like in boxing. We first arrive to the target and then release the power, which is very unusual. It's strange to say it. It's even more strange if you actually see it for real. Because we attach to the body of the opponent and then we release the power. It could be a punch, it could be an elbow strike, it could be the headbutt. It works in the same way. So first we need to cut the distance. Once we are in touch with the body of the opponent, we release the power in a Taijiquan way, not in a normal Western boxing way anyway. Here is really the practical, in the very first movement that you do in the form, is the very, very practical explanation of this concept. 1, here, you don't move the weight here or here. Flipping in the qua of the hips, this. Your weight still in the center, okay? Because think that he was coming, I dodged the first one, but all of my weight goes on my right. So I'm here. He will just push me away. It will be very easy for him to have me destabilized. Boom. Okay. I can't be on my right. I need to be in the center. Okay. Boom. Okay. Here, 1. Here, I approach him in this way. I need to cover. I cover. I arrive here. Boom. I release the power. Now I turn and I go on my right. 1. Okay, so eliminating the first opponent, I go to a hypothetical new opponent on my right. Okay, let's see it again. Okay, you can do it at various speed. You can do it very, very low, very high. Doesn't matter. You can do it very, very high, but the concept is still there. It's important that the concept, the principles of movements, and the way you apply them, they're still the same. The rest can change. The elbows can be a little bit wider, a little bit more close. The hands, they can be in this way instead of this way. They can be in this way. Doesn't really matter. As long as the principle is the same. Here, very important. If this one is not a strong position, he will charge and push me away. So, especially in the middle of the movements, in the middle of the steps, you need to be really, really strong and well prepared. Strong and well prepared doesn't mean that you have to do 1,000 sit-ups. No. You need to understand the principle of movement. I approach him, boom. Here, I'm really, really strong. I can actually move him really, really easy because I'm overcharging everything that is here. I'm small, covered, I'm compact. I'm not easy to move around because I will move in this way and not in this way. I will not be one single block because I'm moving 1, 2, 1, 2, and then I turn. Okay? Many masters, when they do this, they tend to make it less clear. Okay? So if you want to make it less clear, you do something like this. So nobody see the principle of movements, everybody happy. Somehow. Chinese used to do that. They do that also in every situation. They don't like the people from the outside to see what's going on. So they do it, but they do it a little bit watered. Okay? 1. Here, don't go from one to the other one. Okay? Stay in the middle. Boom. Here. Boom. Boom. This is studied by special forces, self-defense systems, knife fighting systems. This one is one of the best possible guards that you naturally have. Because this is just cover. As I say, this will just cover, just with your body, you don't have to do anything. This one, protect your face. You don't have to do this, you don't need to do this, okay? You from here, boom, boom. You have elbow, elbow, boom. You become a solid block, compact, which is very important for any guard. Your back muscle, boom, in this way. They block and lock the position, boom. This one is not here, this one is not here, this one is not here, it's here, just enough. But I have power, it's not soft. It's not you put it here like this, like maybe you will do in kickboxing. Just boom, 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 boom. No. Okay, here you are getting in. There is not a previous dodging and then you put this one just in case. No, you are actually going in, so you need to be strong. You will probably receive a punch or a kick in that direction. So, boom. Here can even be this, eventually. So, you need some power here. Boom. Then you raise this from down. Very sneaky. You won't see it coming. Boom. You come in from down, up. This one comes from down, up. Boom. From here. Don't have to do much road. It's very linear. 1, 2. Then, boom. Then, the other one. Okay? I hope you like the video. Please subscribe.